Children, today we will learn about the lesson Major Landforms of the World. You must have seen mountains, valleys, rivers, hills, and deserts while traveling. Now, India is one of the most beautiful countries. Our country is not the same everywhere. There are high mountains in some places and flat land in some. At some places, the land is made up of hard rocks. At some places, it is covered with soft sand. These are called landforms. A landform is any natural feature of the earth's surface. It is caused due to the constant changes that takes place on our planet. Now, how did certain parts of earth's crust rise up to form mountains? Let us explore these fascinating landforms. Mountains are rocky masses that are higher than the surroundings, more than 900 meters above the mean sea level. Mountains differ in height and shape. They have very steep slopes. The highest point of a mountain is called a peak. Mountain peaks are mostly conical in shape. Which is the highest peak in the world? Yes, Mount Everest. Now you have seen long chain of mountains. These long chain of mountains is called a range. Whenever you draw scenery, you draw the mountains all joined together. So that is called a chain of mountains. That is called a range. What is a range? A chain of mountains. Now mountains are formed as a result of several kind of movements on Earth's surface, like we will discuss about the volcanic eruption, fold mountains and block mountains. So on the basis of their formation, how they are formed, mountains are classified into fold mountains, volcanic mountains and block mountains. Now what are fold mountains? When two large land masses collide with each other, fold mountains are formed. The Himalayas in India and the Alps in Europe are fold mountains. You can see in the picture how two land masses are colliding towards each other and creating a compression on the rock from both sides, and then thus how the land mass is rising up and forming the fold mountain. The Himalayas have three main ranges running parallel to each other: the Himadri, the Himachal, and the Shivalik. Himadri is also known as the Greater Himalayas. This is the northernmost range. It is the highest of the three ranges. Many rivers originate in this range. Some of them are the Ganga, the Yamuna, the Indus, the Brahmaputra, and the Satluj. Himachal is also known as the Lesser Himalayas. Several hill stations such as Shimla, Srinagar, and Darjeeling are found here. This range lies between the Himadri and the Shivalik. Shivalik is also known as the Outer Himalayas. This range lies to the south of the Himalayas. Its slopes are covered with thick forests. Due to heavy rainfall, the land south of the Shivalik is marshy. Marshy means a marshy area of land is always wet, like a ground area that is always waterlogged, always wet. That is called the Rai region. It is the abode of many wild animals, means home of many wild animals such as yaks, tigers, leopards, panthers, and elephants. The next category of mountain is the volcanic mountain. Now, the surface of earth is cool, but the temperature deep inside the earth is very, very high. The rocks here are in molten form, okay, semi liquid form. The lava or the hot magma comes out through a crack or a opening whenever there is a crack. So, what happens? This lava comes out, and when a volcano erupts, then, when they cool and become a solid rock, volcanic mountains are formed. Volcano means a break on the earth's crust which emits lava, ash, and gases. Example of volcanic mountains are Mount Fuji in Japan, and Mount Vesuvius in Italy. Next category is block mountains. Now, you sometimes the crust, that means the outer layer of the earth, it cracks up. And when the land between two cracks or faults mean cracks. And when the land masses are pushed along the cracks, block mountains are formed. Sometimes the surface is raised up, and sometimes the surface is raised, it becomes down. Now, the Black Forest mountain in Germany and the Nilgiris in India are block mountains. And when the land between the cracks or faults sinks, that means goes down, a rift valley is formed. For example, the river Narmada flows through a rift valley with the Vindhyas on the northern bank and the Satpuras on the southern bank. So, this is how the block mountains are formed and how the rift valley is formed. A low, narrow passage or a gap between the mountains is known as a pass. A pass helps people to cross the mountains. Example, if I ask you, the Hind Kush and the Suleiman mountains to the northwest of India have the Khaber Pass and the Bolan Pass respectively. Now, children, you will ask, what is the difference between a valley and a rift valley? A valley generally is a low area between hills, often with a river running through it. You know, Kashmir and Switzerland are two of the most beautiful valleys in the world. And Rift Valley is a linear shaped lowland between several highlands or mountains, which is generally created by the action of some geological rift or fault.